We've all been worried about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and while I wanted it to be great since it's Harrison Ford's last time playing the character, I didn't have high expectations, and there have been rumors circulating the internet that he was going to be overshadowed by Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character, who is Indy's goddaughter, but now it appears that those rumors were correct, and she is the one who makes the final heroic choice in the film. I have a few different things that I want to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube membership. So it says an alleged plot leak for Lucasfilm's upcoming Dial of Destiny claims that Phoebe Waller-Bridge's Helena character is the one who makes the critical heroic decision because Indiana refuses to do so. Not only does she make the heroic decision, but the decision is punching Indiana Jones and knocking him out. Now, of course, this is still technically a rumor. It is an alleged plot leak, but we are very close to it finally releasing, and it definitely seems like all of these rumors add up. And it is true. It says, according to a Reddit user who shared what he claims is a full plot synopsis for the film, at the end of the film, Mads Mikkelsen's character is able to complete the dial and attempts to use it to travel back in time in order to kill Hitler. However, the dial does not take him to Sicily in 39, but rather transport him, Indiana Jones, and Helena, who are aboard airplanes, to the Roman siege of Syracuse. Again, take it with a grain of salt, but it does sound very real. It says, though, upon landing on the ground, Indiana encounters Archimedes, who also retrieves the dial from the corpse of Waller. He proceeds to ensure the Dial of Destiny can only transport users to him in Syracuse during the siege, while also obtaining one of his watches, giving him knowledge on the device. And it sounds like Helena tells him that the dial was rigged in making sure it only sends back to Syracuse on the day of the siege so that they could save him. We understand it's thanks to this jump in time he found his knowledge about watches and on how to complete the dial. And this is where it starts going downhill. This is where the plot starts to sound absolutely absurd but realistic, because the writers on this project don't actually care about Indiana Jones and making, this franchise come to a close in a really good way that would make consumers happy. It says the details say that Indiana Jones does not want to return to his present, but would rather stay there because he believes there is nothing for him in 1969, and in contrast, Helena attempts to convince Indy to return to the present, believing if he stays in the past, he would change the course of history, and he is apparently unconvinced by her argument, so she resorts to punching him and knocking him out, meaning that Indy doesn't actually get the final heroic choice in the movie, but this female character does. Okay, this is absolutely ridiculous. Throughout this whole movie, it does sound like she is constantly making the big choices and ultimately knowing that Indy doesn't get the final heroic moment in his final movie just completely ruins any excitement that I had for this film. We knew when Phoebe Waller-Bridge was announced to be in this film, it was probably going to be a mess, and we actually heard that they recorded multiple endings because they wanted to show them all in test screenings, and apparently almost none of them did that well, and this was the best one that they decided to go with, I guess, which is just so bad to think about. They thought that this would go over well with fans. Oh yeah, even though it's Harrison Ford's last time playing this character, let's just have him not make the ultimate final decision. It's like all of his character development throughout all of the films don't actually matter anymore. And obviously, they made this movie first and foremost to make money. I don't think any of us expected them to just end this billion-dollar franchise, but it was also because Crystal Skull was so bad they wanted to give Harrison one more movie to end Indy's story, and what we got sounds just as bad, and critics have rated it even lower than Crystal Skull, which is absolutely pathetic. I did not have high expectations for this movie, but hearing this, while not surprising, is just so disappointing. It says that the film reportedly ends with the shot of Indy's hat on a drying line outside the apartment, with what appears to be his hand eventually grabbing it off the line as the camera zooms onto the hat with a small circle, similar to old Warner Brothers cartoons. It is detailed the screen reduces into a small circle like in the Tom and Jerry cartoons, circling the hat and appearing to end there just before we see his hand, getting the hat back inside the end. It's not surprising that he would not be the one making the heroic decision and have that be left to Waller-Bridge's character. Ford described his character in an interview recently as not so strong, not so brave, not so attentive, but about to go on a grand adventure with a very fascinating set of compatriots and adversaries. So from the beginning of the PR push for this movie, he has been downplaying Indy's intelligence, which I absolutely hate. This is a character that many of us love and have nostalgia for, and instead of giving him a final outing that makes sense, no, they just had to shove women power into it. I do not like Phoebe Waller-Bridge in general, but if she had done a good job in this movie, I would give her the credit, but it doesn't sound like she is. Lucasfilm has been very focused on the feminist ideology over the past few years. They have been very focused on deriding male characters, and it's sad to see because while yes, I love seeing strong female characters in movies and TV shows and entertainment in general, unfortunately they are overdoing it, and when it comes to something like Indiana Jones, I want to see this strong male character that we know and that we love, and instead this is what they decided to do. It's not surprising because of course it's Kathleen Kennedy, right? She has been focused on the Force is female and the future is female instead of just the future needs to be good content in order for us to make money. But this is, just a very expected move on her part. Now, I almost never trust critic scores and what they're saying because half the time they absolutely love movies that users hate and vice versa, but it is pretty freaking bad when Dial of Destiny is rated lower than Crystal Skull. As you can see, it is sitting at a 51% all critic and the top critic is a 38, and Crystal Skull is sitting at a 77% and the top critic is a 66, which is just absolutely abysmal. I mean, they have been torching this movie since they saw it early in previews, and we do still have a little while until this movie comes out. I mean, we have to wait at least a couple more weeks, but I don't have any high expectations for it at this point. I have no excitement for it. I'm just sad to see that they did actually go in this direction. They make Indy just like a dumb bumbling man, and of course they make way for Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character. We don't know what they're going to do with her in the future because reports did previously say they basically wanted her to be the next Indiana Jones. They wanted her to have her own TV show that was a spin-off. We don't know if they are still going to do that. I think before they greenlit it, they really wanted to see what people thought about Dial of Destiny, but I don't think it's going to go well. I think that obviously critics are torching it, but I think that users are also going to torch this film as well. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.